when God wanted Joseph to be the second ruler in Egypt, which is the biggest nation on earth, how did he train him? He did not send him to some college to get a postgraduate degree. You know how he trained him? To be thrown into a pit by his 10 brothers, to be falsely accused, sold as a slave, separated from his parents. Is that how you train a man to be a ruler in Egypt? And then you go there and he's utterly faithful. He refuses to commit sin with his boss's wife. You think God should reward him for that? Again and again, the boss's wife tried to make him sin with her, and he says, no, no, no. What is the reward he gets? Jail. Oh. And he says, I never did that. I never did anything wrong. No, you're telling a lie. She got your coat. You went to molest her. Complete lie. Only God saw the truth. And locked up in jail. Some of you think you have sufferings. Compare it with Joseph. Supposing your husband were accused like that, how would you feel? Absolutely innocent husband. And he's there in jail day after day after day, year after. He's wondering, when will God deliver me? God gave me, when I was 17 years old, he says, God gave me dreams that one day the sun and moon will bow down to me and my brothers will bow down to me. Nothing like that is happening. I seem to be bashed around and misunderstood and ill-treated. And it's not 1 or 2 days, not 1 year, 2 years. Do you know how many years Joseph was in jail? A minimum of 10 to 12 years. And those jails were not like jails today. Those were real horrible places. You're just thrown in there. Nobody bothers about you. My brother, sister, what are your sufferings compared to that? You say, I'm a child of God. Joseph was called. And then God gave him ability to interpret dreams. You know the story of Pharaoh's butler and baker came and he interpreted the dream of one person saying, Pharaoh will restore you to his rightful place, to his right hand. And the other fellow had another dream and said, I'm sorry to say, Pharaoh will come and kill you. And it happened. And the one who was exalted to Pharaoh's right hand, he told him, Joseph said, please tell Pharaoh that I'm unjustly put in prison. And at that time, Joseph was 28 years old. And do you know what the Bible says? Pharaoh's cupbearer forgot about Joseph. Can you imagine a man who interpreted your dreams supernaturally and it actually happened in your life? You're restored to the right hand of Pharaoh and you forget about this man who did such a supernatural revelation of your dream? I can't understand it. But that's how human beings are. Have you met people who are totally ungrateful for what you've done for them and they completely forget about you? That's nothing compared to what Joseph faced. So he sat another, not 1 or 2 days, 2 years. You know why? Because in God's eternal plan, he had planned that Joseph must become the second ruler in Egypt when he's 30 years old. And when Pharaoh's cupbearer was released, Joseph was 28. He was not yet ready. He's got 2 more years of rugged jail life. I'll tell you one thing. Nothing can hinder God's purposes. But see how the story ends. In some miraculous way, Pharaoh has a dream. Nobody can interpret it. And Joseph is brought. And Pharaoh has favor to him and says, you're going to be the second ruler. Imagine a prisoner who was falsely accused. And that Potiphar, who he was a slave to Potiphar. Now Potiphar is working under Joseph. Have you ever thought of that? And do you think he took revenge on Potiphar's wife for locking him up? Not at all. I'll tell you, I think Joseph did some good to Potiphar. Maybe gave him a promotion and blessed his wife. That is how a godly man is. Why do I say Joseph was like that? Because when his brothers who accused him came, he blessed them. That is a Christian who is been treated badly, suffered a lot, and then blesses the people who treated him badly. That's tremendous. If you've had the opportunity to do that in your life to someone who treated you badly, you're walking in the right path.